Hi everyone, this is LeetCode problem number 8, string to integer atoi. So here we are given a string and then we have to convert it into 32-bit signed integer. And we are given 4 ground rules which we have to follow while converting it to integer. The first rule is ignoring the white spaces and having it signedness like by checking plus or minus, assuming the number is positive by default. And then we have conversion. So anytime we encounter a non-digit, like something which is not 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 9, like once we come to a stage where we have encountered one such character, we should just ignore them. And then by rounding off, since we are supposed to return 32-bit signed integer, as soon, like if it is overflowing, we should round it off to the int max and int min. We'll do a dry run, like basically we'll just try to understand this in action, and then we'll check how we can manage the overflow of the values, right? So here I have like 3 empty spaces. I'm just putting an underscore so that we know that these are the empty spaces. What I'll do, like I'll like normally start a while loop, and I'll first see if I have any empty spaces. My action would be to ignore it and then keep increasing my I. So let's say my I points to 0, my character is empty space. My action will be just skip it. By default, my sign remains +1, and in my result, I have like nothing. It's 0 right now. Then I moves to second one, and it is like it's still an empty space. So my action would be to skip it. My sign remains same, and my result is like 0. Again comes to the third one. Is it like empty space? Yes, it is. We are supposed to skip spaces. I'll skip it. My sign remains same. My result is 0. Now, when I come to this, now that it's a minus sign, right? So according to the rule, if my sign is equals to minus, like this thing, what I'll do, like obviously I'll iterate by I minus I plus plus, but also my sign changes to -1. Give me a minute. Yeah, my sign changes to -1. My result still remains 0. Now I move to next character. My I points to 4, and the character that I have in hand is nothing but 4. So this is my digit. My digit is 4. My sign is -1. And in results, I will just append this, and it becomes 4. I move to the next character. It is 2. My digit is 2. My result will be 42, 4, and then I'll have 2. Here, while storing the rest, right, we could use the same formula that we use in reversal of digit, and then here it is minus. My result is this. Then I have A. Is A a digit? No, it is a non-digit, so we stop here because it is a non-digit. Sign is -1 and 40. I'll return my sign into the result that I have in hand. Okay. So yeah, this was like the easy part, right? Now what we have to manage is the overflow. What happens if my result is greater than, what happens if my result is greater than int max by 10? What I'll do, I'll check its sign. If it is positive, I'll return int max, and if it is not positive, I'll return int min. Now there is another like edge case. What happens if my like result is equals to like int min divided by 10? I forgot to write divided by 10 over here. Let me just write it. This divided by 10, right? So let me take an example. Let's say my res is 21474833640. Let's say this is my res, okay? And the next digit that I get, if it is greater than 7, I will be hitting int max. Like if I just add 7 to it, I will be getting int max, right? So that's all the check that I'm putting. If my sign is positive, if my digit is greater than or equal to 7, I will return int max, right? So that it does not overflow. And if my sign is negative, I'll check if my digit is greater than or equal to 8. If it is, I'll just return int min. Now what happens, like we might face errors somewhere if we not put this equal to sign, is why I'm just taking it as a precautionary equal to sign, like so that if the answer is 2147483647, if this was the number that I was given in the string, to avoid the chances of it overflowing, I'm taking it as equal to 7, so that I ignored that as well. Yep, this was the basic understanding of this problem. I hope we'll understand it better when we code. So let's move to coding. Okay, moving towards coding. First, we'll note down the size of the string. So we'll say int n is equals to int of s dot size. Okay, we'll also initialize the variable I is equals to 0. Now first what we are going to do is we are going to ignore all the white spaces. For ignoring all the white spaces, what we are going to do, we are going to check if my I is less than n and if my s of I is nothing but equal to this empty space, right? If it is an empty space, then I'm just going to do I plus plus. So this is us taking care of the white spaces. Now sign. First we'll just mark sign to 1. Now if my I is less than n and my s of I is equal to, if it is positive, or if my s of I is negative, I'm gonna have a second check, and if my s of I is equals to negative, I'm gonna mark my sign is equals to nothing but -1. Then I'm gonna do I plus plus. Okay. Now if it is positive, it will remain positive in that case. Okay. Now coming to the conversion, right? So let's store our result in something in res. Now while I is less than n and if it is a digit, right? So we can also write is digit, and but here we are using built-in function, right? So we'll see if my s of I is digit and if my I is less than n, and if it is so, I'm gonna say int digit is equals to s of I minus 0. This is nothing but the conversion. Now I have my digit and I already know how to use it, right? I'm going to do res equals to res into 10 plus my digit, and I'm going to do I plus plus. Okay, so this is about the digit conversion, and for returning I can just return my sign multiply by my result. Okay, now one more thing that we have to take care of is the overflow check, right? this we had done in the last question also. So before I put the result, I'm gonna have this check. If my result is greater than int of max divided by 10, I'm gonna return. If my sign is equals to 1, then I'm gonna return int max, else I'm gonna return int minimum. Okay, now another command Z. Yeah, now if this is less than, okay, this is the case of the greater one, right? Now the case where it is equals to, if my result is equals to this, then my sign is 1 and digit is greater than or equal to 7, then I'm gonna return int max, right? Else, like if my sign is equal to -1 and if my digit is greater than or equal to 8, I'm gonna return int minimum. Yep, this is what we had discussed. Let's see if it's working or not. Now I've logged in, let's run it. Okay, yeah, so this works. Let's try submitting it. Yep, so this is working. Thank you everyone for watching.